Welcome to the Your Leadership Legacy podcast. My name is Tina Paulus-Krause, and I'm so excited to bring you this next podcast dedicated to you high performers out there who want to reinvent yourself, reinvent your business, maybe your career, all of it. This podcast is all about being dedicated to transformation and being the best possible leader of yourself and others that you can be in order to create a legacy that lives on. Welcome to Your Leadership Legacy. My name is Tina Paulus-Krause. I am the founder and CEO of True You Teams. And here we go. Hey everyone, welcome to Your Leadership Legacy. My name is Tina Paulus-Krause, and with me today I have Miss Beth Osmer. Hey Beth.
Hi everyone.
How are you, hon?
I'm good.
Good to have you on. So Beth is like one of my dear friends, and she has this amazing background. So Beth, tell us about your background and give us a little bit of information about who you are.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for having me on. My name is Beth Osmer, and I am a spiritual empowerment guide. I've been working with people for the past 15 years in supporting them in releasing the pain from their past so that they may be powerful in their present. And I use, as you can see, the powerful modality of shamanism and energy medicine to support people in becoming their most powerful selves.
I love that. So you talk about releasing people from their past. What does that mean? What does that look like?
Well, we all done it. We all do it, where things that have happened to us in our past, whether they be a trauma or a loss, or it could simply be programming from the media, from your parents, from your ancestors. There are things that we hold on to from the past, subconsciously and consciously, that keep us held back in our present. And I mean, often heard people say, you know, I can't really, they get really stuck in their patterns. Or I've even heard people blame, I can't move on because this happened to me. So my mission in life is to show people that they can actually heal, because I was that person. My past held me back in massive ways. I have an incredibly traumatic past, and it was like a shackle on my foot and handcuffs on my hand. It held me back and kept me from unleashing my power. And it was when I started healing from that and truly having that intention that I'm going to release this and not allow this to hold me back anymore, is when I saw the power of being able to heal. And I truly believe that no matter what anyone has been through, you have the ability to release it, shed it, and stand in who you truly are.
So powerful, Beth. So powerful. And I love you so much, and I know your past, and I know what you've been through, and I know all the work that you've done. And so talk to the people that are listening about that healing. Because when you were talking, you're talking about, like that healing. And so I want you to talk about that process that people go through from having those things that happen in their life, and like, where does somebody even start in that healing journey to get where they need to be, or where they want to be rather?
That's a great question. I think the first thing to do is, one, there are some things that you cannot think your way out of. I truly believe that. And to reach out for help, reach out to support. I know a lot of people who think they can do it on their own, or I can just think it away. And maybe you can. I'm not saying that you can't, but if you're truly interested in wanting to release things that are holding you back, negative self-beliefs, negative thoughts, even like patterns that aren't working anymore, reach out for support, reach out for help. Find someone to support you, a coach, a practitioner, a therapist. And then through that is the intention of working through it. And the work that I do it's kind of like therapy-ish. We definitely talk, but I'm more interested in getting to the root of what is going on a deep soul level, tracking patterns, tracking traumas, tracking beliefs. It's almost like pulling a weed out of the ground, like pulling a root. And then once that's out of the ground, it gives you the ground of your soul, the ground of your being. It gives you this opportunity to truly start clearing away, stepping in, and becoming who you truly are. Right. Because our beliefs are not who we are. They are what we believe. Our experiences are not who we are. It's what we've experienced. And so it gives you this opportunity to begin to really heal the relationship that you have to yourself. And Tina, you know this, everything comes down to the relationship you have with yourself.
Right.
Every single moment of the day. If things in your external life are not working, it's always comes down to what's going on in your internal world and your relationship to yourself.
Right. So talk a little bit more about relationship to self. How do I know what kind of a relationship to myself I have?
Such a good question. That's one of the first questions I ask people, is to describe your relationship that you have with yourself. And it's so interesting because people kind of get like thrown off by that question,
Right.
some people, and they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, you're in relationship with all these other people, but first and foremost, you are in a relationship with yourself from the moment you started like coming into the world. And so so you could start thinking of it that way. It's like describing how you would describe a relationship with a friend. How do you treat yourself? How do you feel about yourself? What do you do when you're sad? How do you talk to yourself? Like, how are you in your being?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think back to my past, and sometimes I was saying stuff inside my head to myself that I wouldn't even say to people that were like, I would consider my enemy. Right. And so
Totally.
it's so crazy how we talk to ourselves. So what I want to do, Beth, is I want to kind of transition into where we're at today, right? We've got the pandemic going, we've got the virus going. Our world has been turned upside down. Nothing is normal anymore. Everything has changed. And so when we talk about relationship to ourselves and we talk about kind of some of the work that you do, what is the biggest need that you're seeing right now as people try and kind of work through this and figure it out?
Mhm. Honestly, the biggest need I feel for people is to really work on, like I was just saying, the relationship you have with yourself. This is the time to work on your spiritual health, your mental health, and your physical well-being. There is no better time than to do it now. So I had someone ask me a question the other day, a bunch of mom friends that I know, and they're like, oh, they were very concerned, like, how are your clients doing? And I haven't spoken to every single one of my clients, but I was like, they're actually okay,
Mhm.
and they were shocked. And I said, they're okay because they have been working towards this moment. They have been working on they have tools, they have been working on their spiritual health, they've been working on their emotional health, and they've been unwinding from things from their past, and they are somewhat prepared. That doesn't mean that they're not feeling things and feeling scared and sad, but they're okay. Like,
Mhm.
they're okay. And so this is the time, if there is anything that you have been ignoring, what, financially, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, this is the time to work on it. There is no better time. And I mentioned financially because that's been coming up a lot. And I heard someone say something yesterday. This was awesome. He's like, if you're having a breakdown in your finances right now, you were having a breakdown before the
Totally.
virus. And the virus is just igniting it. If you were having a breakdown in your relationship before the virus, or now, you were probably having a breakdown before the virus. So it's just bringing everything to the surface. And now is the time to look at it, heal it, step into your power around it, and also don't lone wolf it. Talk about how you're feeling, talk about your fears, allow yourself to feel, but don't, I know it's easy for me to say this, try not to stay stuck in it. It's when we get stuck in the coziness of
Mhm.
self-pity and fear, because we all get that, we've all felt that, it's all familiar.
Yeah.
It's when like, this is the time to like reach out for help and for support.
Yeah, we talked about this a lot, that like this time that we are having, we have a choice, right? We have a choice to think this is happening to us, or we have a choice to think this is happening for us. And so if we take everything that you just said about any breakdowns that you had before this virus, they're just being magnified now for you so that
Mhm.
you can really focus in and really, really do the work. and look at this. So like, what kind of a message are you giving to your clients right now? Like, what is your message to them?
My message is just that this is the time to quote, like, get like serious with yourself and your spiritual and mental well-being. That is my message. Like, anything that you've been ignoring in the shadow of your being, and we all have a shadow side, we all have a dark side, we all have a light side, and this is the time to work towards that. And this is also the time to ignite any dream that you have had. Any dream. Oh, I've always wanted to paint, or oh, I always wanted to open up the healing center, or even though we know one day there will be centers open, this is a moment in time.
Yeah.
And yes, it's going to change things forever on some level. We will get back to the new normal. And this one day will be a story. Like, it will be, oh, in a year from now, 2 years from now, remember 2020 when
that
the
year
virus hit? We're going to talk about that, right? Yeah. We're going to talk about it. And who do you want to be in that story? When you tell that story, who do you want to be? Do you want to be the person that sat and watched Netflix and checked out the whole time? And that's not a judgment. It's just, if that's what you want to do, awesome. Or do you want to be the person who created something, who gave out, who is generous, or whatever it is? And I'm also telling people, or sharing with people, be generous. This is the time to like share your gifts. This is not the time to play small. And if you know that you're gifted at painting, or you know that you're gifted at music, or you know you're super intuitive and you haven't shown that, this is the time to do it. Yeah. We need you. Like, we need you to not be playing small. Yeah. So who do you want to be in this story? Right now we're in the middle of the story, but you have a choice.
Yeah. Yeah. I certainly don't want to be on the other end of this feeling like I didn't give it everything that I had, right? Like, we get to give it we all get to rise. We all get to be leaders during this time. So the name of the podcast is Your Leadership Legacy, right? So when you think about a leadership legacy, Beth, like what legacy are you aspiring to leave?
That's such a good question.
I feel like I could answer it for you, but I want you to answer it because I think you're amazing and you've got so much going on. But
wow, my legacy, if I makes me like emotional that I offered my gifts to people so that people can heal. That we are here on Earth School. We're all figuring this out, and right now the kids are being homeschooled, but us adults, we're literally in school trying to figure out this next class of a pandemic. And in that legacy, I want to be one of the teachers and guides that help people really come out of this so that they can begin to shine in their leadership, shine in their light, and be a spiritual warrior. Like, be a warrior through this. Warriors they don't not feel fear. Warriors feel fear. Warriors feel sad. Warriors feel doubt sometimes, but warriors act anyway. They show up anyway. So if I could offer not even could, my intention is to continue leading people towards their own light, continue leading people towards their own leadership, and continuing leading people towards their power and their possibility.
That's beautiful.
That's the legacy I'd like to leave.
Yeah, and you already are. I see you doing that every single dang day. Tell us about Spirit Warrior.
Okay, Spirit Warrior. Well, right now I have I don't know when this is going to air, but I don't know. But right now I have this summit, an online series called The Spiritual Warrior. But I'm going to be I'm not going to be, this is like, I have to watch my language. I am creating,
ready to go.
Right? Like, because it was like something I was going to do. And now that this virus is here, I'm like, it's happening right now. I'm creating spiritual warrior trainings. And these are for people. I'm calling in people who are ready to be spiritual leaders, those people that are ready to be on the front lines of spiritual well-being and to support other people. So why we have like the nurses and the doctors and even the garbage men and the grocery store workers, those people are amazing, and they're out there on the front lines. They are literally our heroes. And then we have people, I want to create and support those that get to be on the spiritual front lines, that are ready and need training and are ready to step into rigorous, empowering training to support other people in becoming spiritual leaders. So that is where I am focusing on, because right now we really need you.
Yeah.
We really need you.
Yeah. Imagine a world, Beth, where every single person stepped, you talk about that power, right? Like just like stood up in their own power and just stopped worrying about what people thought and just said, this is me and this is who I am and this is my gift and this is what I get to give to the world. Like imagine what a different world we would be in right now.
We would be living in a world where people felt free and honored one another and respected. And this is like personal power. I'm sure you guys know this. We're not talking about like, I'm going to rule the world power.
No,
personal power, your confidence, what makes you you. And yeah, we would be living in a very different world if you ignored all of the programming that you've had your whole life and really listened to your intuition and your soul's calling. It would be very different.
Yeah, it's the future. I firmly believe that it's the future.
It is.
We get to build it and create it, all of us together.
It truly is the future. And right now, I believe that we're in the wobble of the shift. Like we're in deep initiation. And I'm not saying this to scare anybody, but I've actually seen this in my meditations for a couple of years now, that this time is a split, and that you have a choice to go toward the light or you have a choice to go to the dark, and both are going to be as equally as potent.
Choice is just that word that just keeps popping up all the time. Choice. Hey Beth, where do people find you?
You can find me on bethosmer.com.
Okay.
You can find me on Facebook by my name. I also have a private Facebook group you're welcome to join. It's called The Spiritual Warrior, and I do lives, and there's all kinds of resources on there to support you on your spiritual leadership journey.
Amazing. All right. Amazing. So thank you, Beth.
Thank you. I love you.
I love you too. You are doing such amazing work in this world, and I've seen you rise up one after another. And you're just, the work that you do out in the world is magic and it's beautiful. And I love you so much. So thank you so much for being on.
Thank you. Should we plug Spirit Says?
We should. Yes. Tell everyone about Spirit Says. I wasn't going to, but since you mentioned it, yes, let's do it.
Talk about it.
All right. So Beth and I, we actually have recorded 3 or 4, maybe 5 episodes of a project that we're working on called Spirit Says. So Spirit Says is, it's meant to bring funny, it's meant to bring love, it's meant to bring connection, of just people laughing at things that we do as humans that are sometimes just kind of the craziest, silliest things. And so Spirit Says everyone should watch it when it comes out, because it's amazing and it's funny and there's a lot of laughs.
Spirit Says if you don't watch it, then you're really not cool.
Yeah, Spirit Says not cool if you don't watch it. So
if you want to enhance your spiritual well-being, come watch Spirit Says. We get to come up with a launch date. We're making it, but we get to come up with a launch date.
Yes, I say May, sometime in May.
Got it.
All right, done.
Okay.
Done. All right. Thank you, guys. That ends this episode. We will see you next time. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
My name is Tina Paulus-Krause, and I thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the show. Check out our programs and events at trueyouteams.com. And until next time, make it an amazing day.